Goodness comes and evil goes.
Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth. Karibu, welcome. My name is Kwende, and today we're going to get into another important subject, and that subject is build meaningful substance into relationships for liberty. African souls have always had a special, unique, and profoundly deep interconnection with the Creator Supreme, the sacred universe at large, and the realm of African great ancestors. However, what we're going to focus on for this particular program is the practical engagement in building meaningful substance for relationships at the person level. There are many ways that one could approach this, but what I'm going to focus on is the need for self-knowingness within the context, say, of a African male and African female union of intimacy. We ought not to lose sight of that. Self-knowingness is a feature of African life from the earliest of times, and African souls actively and in a self-determined way ensured that maximal self-knowingness came to be as part of the fabric of living. And it applies to male-female unions. So a soul might say in the now, given the interruptions and disruptions that we faced in the Ma'afa of recent centuries, that in order for the union to be functional, both parties ought to have a level of self-knowingness. So whether that is self-knowingness for the African masculine man in order for that to be, or whether that is self-knowingness for the African feminine woman in order for that to be, the wholeness of union has a self-knowingness of meaningful substance. In practical terms, it may be for some a requirement that a complementary soul for an intimate relationship to be ought to engage in a particular program of self-study or a set of programs for self-study amongst other criteria, a foundation for longevity. So that's something to consider when moving in the realms of a relationship for liberty. And of course, the month of May is a time where liberty comes to fruition through observances around the great hero Omowale Malcolm X as a grand liberator, and also the process of liberation, and it is a process with celebrations around Liberation Day. Both are observances, so they're not events, they're observances. They are that time of year wherever we happen to be in the world. So with that, let us move to the segment of the program, Quotation Vibration. The quotation for today comes from this text from Afrika to Africa, Ukombozi Siku, the Living Observance of Africa Liberation Day, penned by myself. And the quotation reads, in the chapter entitled African Love, Living Love for Liberation, love and liberty are intertwined for wholesome progression. Knowingness of the self and the magnificent identity inheritance of what it means to be African. Hence, identity is key in the oneness of mission for nationhood, where being organized in oneness is African collective love. That ties in with what we have been discussing, and to have a standard where parties involved in or are about to establish themselves in wholesome male-female union, ensuring that they are, or ensuring that they have a level of self-knowingness through learning programs, cultural and spiritual activities, and so on, is surely key. So with that food for thought, and surely it is food for thought, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth.
The sun who has returned home, for Africans back on top. The sun who has returned home, for Africans back on top. The sun who has returned home, for Africans back on top. The sun who has returned home, for Africans back on top. The sun who has returned home, for Africans back on top. The sun who has returned home, for Africans back on top. The sun who has returned home, for Africans back on top.